fine. We can have a live conversation. Hey guys, and welcome to Dog Talk. This is going to be the first episode of the new year. So this is really exciting because I'm going to be honest and tell you, I haven't really done a whole lot of research for this episode. So just to kick started into it, this whole new year is going exactly as planned. It's going phenomenally fast paced, ready to rock and roll 2021 in a whole new notion. So this is one of the things that I really like about it is because we get to go at a whole new pace, man. It's 2021. It's the new year. We get to make weird wishes and goals that we won't do and all that other kind of stuff. But here's the best part. Now that you're following us here on Dog Talk, and hopefully you're even following me on Stuck in a Truck, you're going to learn how to actually follow through with all this stuff. So what this is cool is my favorite thing about this is that we're going to help you get on track this year. That's right. 2021 is going to be the year that you're going to get yourself on track. We're going to get your dog training goals met. We're going to get your dog listening to you and everything you're looking to do. We're going to be showing and sharing so many different experiences. We're going to have new experts as different guests on our shows. We're going to be bringing people in throughout the industry on this show. So tonight, I really want to take the time, not just because of the fact that I've been hectically busy and wasn't able to do a ton of research, but I will have to tell you that I do have some things planned for tonight's show. One of which is getting started with 2021 with your dog. So a lot of people have probably gone ahead and gotten some puppies. You know, it's Christmas time. We either brought in a new rescue. We could have possibly got a new puppy. There's so many different things that could have happened over the past few weeks in our homes past with the holidays and stuff. So one of the things that we want to talk about is one, if you got a new rescue dog, this is something that is constantly missed all the time. If you are now the new forever home from a rescue, you have to give your dog 14 days to get settled in the house. Teach them simple things like the routines of the home. This is something that gets overlooked so often. We call it the 14-day shutdown. It's really vital that you do this when you're rescuing and rehoming a new dog because you want to give them that opportunity to really figure out the baseline of your house. You don't want to jump into straight obedience, sit down, come stay. You know, unless you're really getting into like a sporting thing with a dog, because you got to think about the level of stress that they're going through joining into your new home. They have no idea what the rules are. They have no idea when meal times are. They have no idea when bathroom breaks are. You got to give them that time to get comfortable and learn small things like what time is dinner? What time is breakfast? When do you go out for potty? When does mom and dad go to work? When do you need alone time? When is rest time? This is a vital thing that we need to really think about when you are getting a new rescue dog or you brought one home. And I know a lot of people tend to jump on the phone and get ready for dog training. And I can tell you for us, we always highly suggest waiting the 14 days before even getting the evaluation, because if the dog is not completely out of their shell, we don't want you wasting your time and money either. And the worst thing that we do as dog trainers is sell you a program that maybe not be the right fit for your dog. So give that dog the 14 days, get them used to your home environment, start getting them used to the rules and structure of your home. And then right at that point in time, after the 14 days are up, then you can start looking into your puppy classes, your adult classes, your training at that point, because you want to get a good start to that behavior. So we look at the 14-day shutdown with those rescue dogs. Now, let's just say you got that puppy, right? You got that new home dog. You just got him home and you're like, oh my goodness, the dog's peeing all over the house. What do I do? So you went to the store and you went and bought a ton of wee-wee pads. Bring them back. Don't do them. Don't use them. Don't use them. Don't use them. Dogs are creatures of habit. If you put a wee-wee pad in the corner of your room and you teach the dog to go to the wee-wee pad, you are literally teaching the dog to go to the bathroom in the house. Set a timer. Get the dog outside. You want to control the water intake, control the food intake, so you know when they have to go potty. Remember, if they drink 8 ounces, they're going to have to wee 8 ounces. So this is simple little things that we have to think about when we have our dog in training, especially that new young puppy. So potty training is a crucial thing. Structure, control. Remember, the dogs are very young. They can't hold their bladder as long as adult dogs can. So at least every 30 to 40 minutes, the dog should be going outside. Don't need to take them for a 2-mile walk. It's a 9-week to 10-week-old, 12-week-old puppy. You want to sit there and take them to the same spot, keep them there till they go to the bathroom, make a big deal out of it, lots of reward, bring them back in the house. And that way, you know this. If the dog has a Zoomy as a puppy, guess what? At the end of that Zoomy, they're going to have to tinkle. So be prepared. One of the best things that you can do is probably have the dog leashed or tethered at the time of when they're playing around in the house. So that way, when it's time to go potty, you can grab the leash and get the dog where they need to be immediately during that time. Now, with that kind of stuff being said, I have a video I want to show you because I think I wanted to go over recently. We came across this a lot in the past few weeks. And I think it's not something that's really talked about a lot. We see a lot of games out there, and I talked about in our last episodes, we talked about really thinking about how important it is to create mental, physical exhaustion in your dog. You have to have a balance. Letting your dog run around all day is going to be a good physical exhaustion, but it's not a mental exhaustion. So you want to bring a level of stimulation into the brain to make the brain think and things like that. So if you guys are fans of the dog puzzle games where you put the treats in all the different holes in the contraptions, the puzzle, whatever, and the dog has to wrestle through it to get the treats out, a lot of people don't realize the whole premise and point of it. And that's something I want to go over tonight. We talked about the 14-day shutdown. We talked about the potty training, but now we have to talk about some of the puzzle games to keep the dogs occupied in inclement weather or just to keep them occupied in general. So if you get a puzzle game that you hide the treats in, you want to allow the dog the time to figure out the puzzle. So don't put treats in every single hole of the contraption, because then the dog can just be brute force, because sooner or later treats come out. So if the dog just brutalizes the mechanism and treats fall out, they didn't really learn how to open the puzzle. They didn't learn actually how to figure it out. They just learned that if I bite, chew, throw it around, kick it, move it, sooner or later something comes out. They're not really learning the puzzle. You're not getting their brain to figure it out. You want to teach them a step-by-step process when you're doing it. So I'm going to show you a quick video of Ozzy. This guy right here. His drive is fantastic. I got to meet him last night. The second time I met him last night. His food drive is absolutely phenomenal. In this video, you're really going to see when the puzzle how he gets so pumped up, so into it. Now you'll see here, there's on your screen, you're going to be able to see that there's the red container, the little white bone shaped container, another little red container. The thing about this puzzle is that there's treats that could be under the red container, in the little red container, or underneath the white bone of the puzzle. So the treat there is going to be where the dog is going to find it. So we're going to watch. It's about a minute long, but I want to give you a little bit of play-by-play. In this video, the owners are quiet. There's treats only in one compartment of it. So now he has to figure out of all those little, vacant areas that the treats can be, he has to pinpoint the odor, which now it's telling his nose has to send a signal to find the strongest point of where the odor is. Okay. Then once he pinpoints where the strongest odor is, he has to then figure out how to get the treats out. So does it have the container? Does he have to open the container? Does he have to bite it? Does he have to remove it? Does he have to swing it around, turn it upside down? The key here is allowing the dog to figure this out. And you'll see in his minute video, you can see the drive of Ozzy. You can see how he's pushing through. He's licking. He's sniffing. You can see how he's even looks for mom for reassurance. And because mom's quiet, he goes right back to the game, less confusion, and he continues to push through. This is where mental over physical is the key here. And look how nice. Right here he goes. He gets the treat. Mom rewards. He looks up like, hey, you like it too, huh? And what's neat about this is a lot of people don't realize is that when you look at that video and you see it, I'm going to play it just because it's really cute and I love it. We're going to play it again just so you can watch. Is that when you look at this kind of stuff, you have to see, we're not seeing the video. Okay, why are we guys not seeing the video is the question. I go back to horse. Let's see. You don't see the video. Are you seeing the video now? Let's ask that one. I reposted. I have it playing again. I don't know if everyone's seeing it or not. It is showing on my live screen, so I can't confirm if you're not seeing it or not. But what's that? Okay, so what I'm being told is if you're on the phone, you might not be able to see it comparison to the computer live. So again, with the video is you're looking at Ozzy. He's going through it's essentially a 12-part puzzle. The treats are in one of the containers. So he's going through it. Well, I'll put it this way. I don't know why it's not showing you guys the video if you can't see it. But I'll explain what's going on in the video. So what Ozzy is going through in the video is there's a 12 compartment toy, 4 red or 8 are red and 4 are white. With the toy itself, there's only treats. You only could see the I'm just trying to read everyone's comments, so I do apologize for my stutter here. So you're gonna have four sections or 3 sections of 4. You have 8 that are red and 4 that are white. There's treats hidden in one of the red compartments, which are scattered of the white, so they're spread out. Ozzy, in this minute-long video, Ozzy, you can really watch him and see how the nose and how he's really focusing in on it. And what's nice about this is the treats are only in one compartment. So now you have to think about how scent works and how the airflow is going through this, because you have natural movement of the air that's going to be pushing the odor of the treats throughout the puzzle game. Never mind the fact that the treats could be someplace else throughout that puzzle game, or you've touched it, you've moved it around. So your human scent is all over this game. So Ozzy is now following. He's not only he's smelling mom or dad who's touched the game, but they've also had the treats on their hands. So they're moving all the odor all over the game. So now Ozzy has to pinpoint and fight mentally by sorting the odor out in his brain where the strongest odor is. Then once he pinpoints it, he has to then focus on how to either open, move, or remove to get to the actual reward itself. Now, a lot of people, what you don't realize in this game is not only is he able to do it by himself, he doesn't need you to coax him, to cheer him on, or any of those things. Actually, the less you talk to him, the less you deal with him, the more he's getting pumped into it, because the game itself is what is actually rewarding to the dog. If you think about anything that you truly enjoy, any maze, puzzle, game, things like that, it's the thrill. It's not necessarily the actual completion. That's just like the bonus. You won, great, and that's the thing where he gets it. But the search that Ozzy's going through is the focus. Now, the neat thing about it, which you don't realize, is the more Ozzy is truly paying attention to the game and he's really looking at it, you could see there's other toys on the floor. If the video starts to play for you, you could see how he's not really paying attention to the television in the background. He's giving up the environmental challenges of the room. So the more his owners put the game into it, and the more difficult they make it by changing where the treats are every time, they can make the game a little bit more difficult. They can change the game up later, rotate the game into a different one. But by not putting treats in every single one of the compartments, it's forcing Ozzy to really focus his brain in on the game itself. So when we think about these puzzle games that we find in pet stores or on Amazon or eBay or anything like that, you got to remember the game itself is not supposed to be where every compartment gets full of treats and you just feed your dog a bunch of food. It is literally supposed to be where you're working your dog's brain, allowing them to not only take the time, but again, the better they get, the more efficient they get to use their nose, the faster they'll find it. They're all rewarding. It's literally self-rewarding. So at the end of the video, when mom rewards him with a yes, good job, right? And she's literally telling him that he did what she wanted, you can see where his interest was set. Like he looks up at her and he's like almost like thank you, and goes right back to the game, because his real reward was the game. So if you have a dog that might be suffering from some sort of OCD, meaning like you see them licking their paws a lot, you see them chasing their tail, these are signs of boredom that your dog is going through. And it could be the fact that they're going to become excessive compulsive, right? So it's like self-mutilating. So these games are really fun games, and you have to build the drive to it. And again, like I said, if you make it too easy for them, you're literally going to kill their drive, because if it's easy, why do it? You have to build it up. You have to make it. So if it's a dog that, let's say it's not really into the game, I might add a few more treats and then minimize every time they play to where you want to get it to only one. But again, if you're always just filling the thing up, you're just not going to be benefiting the dog. So this is one of those games that we have to think about when we're playing it. So if you guys are unsure of like these types of games, feel free to send them to me. Hey, if you find a puzzle game online, you order one on Amazon or something like that, you're just unsure about how to play the game or something like that, feel free to take a picture of it. You can send it to me at msolar@bluelinek-9.com. I'll be happy to let you know what's the best way to use it, how to use it. You can also email me videos of your dogs doing the game. I would love to see them. Again, you can just send them right to the msolar@bluelinek-9.com. So this is really good ways of doing that kind of stuff, because you really want to keep your dog stimulated, especially with the bad weather coming. If you're not going outdoors with them, if you're not doing these things, We've been getting lots of calls in reference to dogs starting to react a lot because of the holidays. And that's a big thing is, for the holidays, this is probably a big shocker year. Some families got together, some didn't. This is really where it comes down to, this year in particular has been a really weird year for the holidays, and our dogs are really going to be affected by it as well. We talk about how they're always doing these things. So bringing a puzzle game into your dog's world or into your daily activities isn't a bad idea. It's probably one of those good ones. You can make some at home. There are some things that we've been working on this year that we're probably going to try to put some videos together. Really good ways to teach your dog to walk, loose leash walking, easy peasy stuff, contraptions for scent work, and how to do it yourself. We're going to probably really been putting together a lot of curriculum videos for Dog Talk for the do-it-yourselfers, how to make these fun puzzle games and stuff like that. So we also want you to reach out and tell us what you might be interested. We're planning this entire year to have live episodes, interviewing new experts in our industry, even traveling. Hopefully the COVID restrictions will lighten up, and we'll be able to travel throughout the United States to interview and check out other dog trainers, boarding facilities, groomers, pet stores, and so much more this year. So this is going to be a really fun year for us. We have lots planned for everybody that's watching Dog Talk or watches Dog Talk or listens to Dog Talk on their favorite podcast platform. So this is, in my opinion, one of the fun parts of the year. Is because I get to plan all this stuff with you guys. So when if you have any questions, again, I just want to let anybody know in the comment section, if you have any questions about the video you just saw, let me go back real quick, check some things up. Any housebreaking questions, thoughts, concerns as we continue on? I'm just looking through it. So again, getting into the new year, with dog training, we talked about teaching them the puzzle games. It's important to get them mentally stimulated, not just physically. So if you take your dog for the same walk every day, I know this is like sidetrack thing, but you're taking your dog for the same walk every day, and you have to think about that for a second. It's sooner or later that walk gets boring for your dog, and that's why these mental games are crucial, because you want to change it up. You want to get excited. You also want to figure out what's good for your dog and what makes them happy, not what you think makes them happy, what really does make them happy. Treats are not always the answer. We figured that out with a lot of dogs that we've trained over the years, that some like toys, some just like being around you, some like so many different things, but you have to focus in on those things to take it to that next level. Ozzy, man, he loves his treats. And that's why that video was really good to use with him, because you can really see that, that drive right into it. And that's one of those big things that we have to look into. So now with Ozzy, the more he gets these puzzle games, you'll see that the more he'll calm down. Personally, like his anxieties will drop because he'll have something to look forward to, and he's going to keep all the energy into that game. So once he figures out the habit, when he gets to do it, why he's getting to do it, how long he's going to get to do it, he's going to want to store that energy for the game time, which means he's going to show less negative reactions to other things, because he's going to want to store the energy for those things. Going real into it, we have a question about puppy socialization during this time. That's actually a great question. So the pandemic really does bring in a lot of things, and I think it brings in one of the best things that you could possibly imagine, which is the socialization issue. Socialization has been brutalized by the marketplace, in particular by saying that dogs need to socialize with other dogs. Go to dog parks, go to these things where you just allow other doggy daycares and let them run around all day. Here's the thing. Your dog does not need socialization. It's not just simply putting your dog in a group of dogs to get them to socialize. Dogs are creatures of attention and affection. In particular, the known nickname for dogs is man's best friend, okay? That means they want humans interaction. They want you, the human. They're not looking for other dogs, okay? You can't turn on the Discovery Channel and see Chihuahuas running wild with German Shepherds. It just doesn't happen. We design our packs. These dogs are meant to be in human packs. That's what they're put together for. So socialization is really geared towards getting the dogs used to your life and in life that you need to be doing. So a few things that you can do, and it is really important if you have a new puppy, a new rescue dog, or just a dog in general that you're trying to socialize into the world, is one, you want to practice your commands in your front yard. Go sit on your front yard with your favorite beverage, or hang out with your dog in your front yard while the garbage truck is coming by, postal workers are coming by, police cars are coming by, people are walking around in general. This socializes your dog into the environment that they are in. You want to desensitize your dog to the environment that you live in, not to run around and play for other dogs, because what happens when you just put them in the dog park to play with other dogs. They look at every dog as a play toy. They look at every dog as those things. And what you don't realize is going to happen is that the dogs will then meet a dog that doesn't want to be their friend, or they're going to turn into a natural point that is going to turn into where your dog is going to have the issues where they're going to start developing a pecking order with those other dogs at the dog park and things like that. You're going to have other issues. The big one is that when we think about what's causing a lot of anxieties is the fact that our dogs don't know our routines. Our routines have been off since the pandemic started. So you want to do your best to keep your dog in that routine as much as possible. Take him for walks in your neighborhood. You want to walk your trail. You want to go past your house multiple times so your dog actually never knows when the walk is over. So the biggest thing when you come out of your house is never to walk the same pathway every single time, because they're going to learn when the halfway marker is, and they're going to start pulling you down the street. They're also going to know where every other dog is and every other point is that they want to bark at. So for example, if you come out of your house and you do the same walk, you come out of your house, you walk left, you go around the block, 2 houses down, there's a dog that comes out and barks at your dog. So then your dog gets the bark. Next thing you know, every time you pass that house, your dog is barking. Even if that neighbor's dog isn't out, your dog will bark. This isn't because of lack of socialization. This is because your dog has learned that this is a fun game. Who doesn't like barking at other dogs? Especially when you bark with them, right? When you tell them to be quiet, they're going to learn to bark with you. So you have to think about what it is that you want to bring your dog out into the environment that you're doing. You want to change that environment as much as possible, getting them used to as much as possible. Different textures, walking on turf, pebbles, blacktop, concrete, grates, wiring, like, so the mesh, right? So you want to get your dog desensitized to all these different things, because that's what's important to them in the future. You have to get them desensitized to the things that you may come across. Hey, I want to take my dog to the beach on vacation. Well, maybe I should desensitize my dog to the sand. You're going to want to desensitize your dog to the ocean waves. You might want to get some sounds, get a beach recording, do these things, get them desensitized to these different sounds, smells, textures, noise. There's been cases where I've gone to people's houses for dog lessons where the dogs would freak out over the garbage truck. They would either become aggressive, they become full of anxiety. And this is because instead of getting them used to these behaviors and used to this noise, we wound up hiding them from it, or allowing, or when the dog reacts, we tell them it's okay. By talking to your dog when your dog is showing a panic, you're actually rewarding that behavior. So that's the kind of stuff that you want to look at yourself and realize that you might be the one that could be doing that kind of stuff, and you want to balance back on it. So socializing your dog during the pandemic is taking your dog into real life environments that you're getting used to. One of the suggestions I make to all my clients is to go to the strip malls and walk your dog in a strip mall. You get tons of cars, trucks, people, and noise, and it's a quick walk. So you take for a car ride. You can head over to your veterinarian clinic. You can get them walking through the social area of the avenue in White Marsh, or something like that. So these are really neat things that you can be doing to get them desensitized. They get to see men with beards, non-beards, long hair, short hair, women, everybody of every shape, size, and color, different vehicles. One of my favorite things to tell people to do is strip malls. I mean, because you honestly get every single thing. And what you do is you start at one end, you circle, and you come back, and you get out of there. It's a short walk. You have tons of distractions. One of the nice things that I typically do is I create different behaviors at different pillars based on the different design. So I come up with different little obstacles. We're able to try obedience cues and fun stuff throughout it. And like I said, it's literally a giant combo. I have a car ride. I have loud noises. I have different people. And again, it's a really easy way to get your dog completely desensitized to life and the environment, as well as focusing in on you. And we just take one thing at a time. Going into a few more comments. I did not do that. Track teams run by my house. You do learn to lay in a sidewalk. So there you go. You have the same idea. So basically take them all over when possible for different scenery and noise. Yeah, I mean, that's truth be told, is that when taking your dog out as much as possible is going to be the key. You know, dog parks are not that they're a bad thing, but again, with new restrictions and stuff like that, you just have to be a little bit more careful. But like I said, you really want to do your best. I mean, I know with us, we created the Canine Country Club, so we know a lot of people aren't able to do these things. So what we do with the Canine Country Club is we do field trips. We take the dogs out on bus trips throughout Hartford and Baltimore County, and we get them used to all the different environments, different floorings, textures, lights, everything you can think of. this is a great way of getting the dog socialized into the different environments and noise. I think the biggest thing that I've seen that would cause a ton of anxiety with a lot of dogs is the lack of the ability to travel and go places. For example, how many times do you take your dog to the veterinarian when you don't have a vet appointment? None, right? I mean, who would want to go to the veterinarian for that? And to me, it just reminds me of the dentist. I mean, a scenario. So I don't go to the dentist to, hang out and eat chocolate. So every time I've ever been to the dentist my entire life, they put those weird things in your mouth, and then they take the x-ray things, and then they clean your mouth, or they clean your teeth with all those weird things as they're trying to have a conversation with you. And it makes the whole thing really awkward because then you're gagging. And I don't even know why they're trying to have a conversation with you when they have your mouth wide open. You can't talk. You can't. Then they get mad if you have to, gag or throw them or something like that. It makes it a horrible experience. So then when you're like, oh, I got to go to the dentist, I've never met a person yet that's like, hey, I can't wait to go. Well, if you only take your dog to the veterinarian when they're getting shots, needles, and they're being held in weird positions because they have to get taken care of and they're getting their checkups, they don't have a great experience. It's not a really like, oh my God, I can't wait to go back to have a thermometer, put in the, and next you know, you're thinking in your head going, oh, the dog don't want to go. That's why it creates anxiety. Who would want to go? Then after repeat of something like that, the dog needs to get something to calm them down or maybe knock them out. What you want to do is you want to take your dog out for rides to your vet clinic. You want to take them to your groomer. You want to take them your boarding facilities, your training facility, anywhere that you want to go a lot with your dog, or even places that you don't go a lot with your dog. Like I said, you're not going to go often to the vet clinic unless your dog is ill or your annual checkups. Which means you should do is you take your dog for a car ride and you start changing the way. Like you pull into the parking lot, turn the car off, wait 10 seconds, start the car up and go for a ride and leave. Then the dog won't literally have a panic attack when they go into the parking lot, because they're not going to think every time they go into the parking lot that they're going inside to get a needle or a shot or their temperature checked or something like that. You want to look at it in a sense of saying, I have to desensitize my dog to the ride, because dogs are learning. It's called the clever Hans effect. They see the same car ride is only bringing them to the vet clinic. They're only going to that facility for that reason. So by changing it up, you're now getting the dog desensitized to it. Bring them there, take them for a walk around the block, play with them in the parking lot, and then get up and go. That way they're completely like, this is not that bad of a place. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. I know prior to COVID, a lot of veterinarian clinics would let you come in. They would literally give your dog a treat and you can walk away. Now with COVID, I'm sure a lot of veterinarian clinics would probably, if you probably called them, they might come to the door and give your dog a treat that way. So that way they really get the full effect of the situation, but they won't let the dog in, obviously. But they can probably give you a treat and go. The one thing I have to say about the veterinarian clinics, at least all the ones that I'm associated with, they love taking care of their clients. They really do step up and take care of their clients. So I know that if you went to your veterinarian clinic and we're like, hey, I just trying to get my dog a little bit desensitized to coming here so they're not as anxious, would you mind having one of your staff members just come to the door and pet my dog or give him a treat, and then we're going to leave? They'll probably do it no problem, because if you think about it, that little bit of effort drawn out by both parties here, by you taking the dog and them coming out and petting them, it doesn't just help you, it also helps them. Because if your dog is calmer and more relaxed going to the clinic, then obviously the experience for them is going to be way better, and it's going to make it easier on the vet techs, the veterinarian, and to be able to provide way better care. So this is something that's really important to try out. So again, let me recap tonight's episode as we come to an end. I didn't realize it's 7:30. So we're getting real quick. Remember, if you have just adopted a new dog, this is a big thing. And if you know people that are adopting dogs, give them the 14-day shutdown. Let them start to slowly increment themselves into your home and understand the rules of the house. Okay. So take your time with them. Let them get acquainted. Don't immediately get into hardcore training with your dog. Don't rush them into something. You want to give them a little time to get to know you and your routines. Potty training. Listen, remember, it's a young dog. They don't have the bladder control. So you have to remember, they're going to have to go to the bathroom every 30 to 40 minutes. If you give them water, they're going to have to go to the bathroom. So remember, everything that goes in will be coming out. So set up your timers. Make sure your dog's walking around with a tether. If they're not supervised, they should be crated or put in a playpen so that they don't have access anywhere else. Wee-wee pads in the corner of your kitchen will teach your dog to go to the bathroom in the corner of your kitchen. So just be mindful of these things. It's easier to get them started right than having to go back and fix it later. So just take your time and set yourself up for success. Remember, they're only young for a little while. You're going to remember these things and you're going to miss that cuteness because, trust me when I tell you, they are cuter than you can possibly imagine. Take your dog out for socialization. Walk around strip malls. Walk around different open areas so you get different noises, people, sounds. This is really good stuff to do right now, as there's not huge crowds out there, so you don't have to worry about a whole lot of things. And of course, last but not least, take your dogs for car rides, take them to your vet clinics, drive in the parking lot, get them used to the things that you're going to need them to get used to and less stressed with throughout their entire lives. Because remember, going to the vet clinic is a big thing. And if you guys are getting those puzzle games, make sure you really take the time to work those puzzle games properly so your dog gets the most out of them that is possible for you. Before I sign off, I'm just going to go real quick through my comments, make sure there's no questions, thoughts, concerns that I could take care of for you tonight. Doesn't help getting them out. Oh, my dog. So there you go with Ambrose there, taking him out, taking about one for one, doesn't help him get him out. But you breaking your dog into the, I believe you're talking about the vet clinic. Going in there one-on-one is really a really easy thing to do. Again, once you get him used to the rides, then you start getting him out if he's really giving you a rough. Don't look at, if your dog is really giving you a struggle. So, for example, if I go to the vet clinic and it's really causing a heavy anxiety, don't force them out of the car just to go get a biscuit. Just hang out in the car for a little bit and then leave. When the dog starts to realize that you're not going to force them into something, they'll put their guard down and they'll let you take the next step. They'll actually be more willing to take the next step when they realize that you're not going to force them into it. Especially older dogs that have essentially been brought to the vet clinic or brought someplace and forced into the uncomfortableness of the scenario. So you definitely want to look at it in that aspect of let them take their time, ease into everything. Remember, your goal is to get the dog less stressed, more comfortable, and that is the ultimate goal. So you have to take that goal and break it down into really small, fine baby steps. And each one of those steps is going to equal into a reward on its own and a goal on its own. So no matter what the ultimate goal is with your dog in the year 2021, I'm here to help you. We want to see you do this, and we're going to help you develop those process throughout this entire year. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign off here. And if you guys have any thoughts, concerns, questions, or topics that you might want to see covered in Dog Talk, please feel free to reach out to us here at Blue Line Canine. We would love to hear about it. You can send me an email directly at msolar@bluelinek-9.com. You could send us a message through our instant messenger on any of our Facebook platforms. We will be happy to cover it. If not, I hope you join me for all my traveling escapades this year, all of our interviews, and so much more. Thank you guys, and we'll see you tomorrow if you want to join me for Stuck in a Truck. Bye.